In this video, we'll learn what are formula and functions of Microsoft Excel with some examples, and we'll also try to solve some calculation using those formula and function. But before that, we need to know what is a formula and a function, or at least the differences between a formula and function. So a formula is an equation designed by the user. So the user will have to type by themselves in order to do some calculation, while a function is a predefined calculation available in the spreadsheet application, which means the calculation will be done by some formulas which is already available in the Excel. So let us check those formula and function in this Excel sheet. In order to work with those formula and functions or to do any kind of calculation in Microsoft Excel, you need to know the name of the cell as we have discussed. So suppose I want to know the name of this cell, so it must be C7. So the name of the cell is also here. So as you do some calculations, you need to know the name of the cell. So this is C in the column C, and this is in the row 4, which means the name of the cell is C4. Or you can also take a note of the cell name by looking at the name bar. To start our calculation, let me write some numbers here. So I have some numbers here, and I want to find the total of all these numbers. It can be done by using a formula or a function. As we've learned that a formula is an equation designed by user in Excel, so we'll have to design the formula or the equation by ourselves. And the other ways, so a function is a predefined calculation in the spreadsheet application, for which it will be available as a function or a formula in the Excel itself. So let's see how we can do using a formula and a function in order to find the total. So if I want to find the total of these numbers in here, then I need to write the formula. So every time you start a formula, you have to start with equal sign, or even if it is a function, you always have to start with equal sign. Remember that, and whenever you write a formula, the formula will always be displayed here also, because it is the formula bar. So let's write the formula. Formula can be written by using the cell names. So I have to start with this cell, that is A and 5, which means A5. So let me write A5 plus, and the next one is same column, so A itself 6, and the next is A7, A12. And once you're done writing your formula, you can hit enter, and that is how you can find the total of all this number by using a formula. And suppose if I want to do the same calculation using a function, not as a formula as we have done here, so let me copy the same numbers and paste here. And to do this calculation, you can write the function by yourself. The name of the function is equal to sum, open the bracket, and the first cell here is C5 to C12, and hit enter. As you can see, the result is same in both the cases by using formula as well as by using a function. And just to make you clear, in order to work with formula and functions, you need to be aware of some arithmetic operators. So nothing to worry, it's quite simple. For addition, we use plus, like we've seen in writing our formula. For example, we've written A5 plus A6 plus as 7, and for subtraction it will be minus sign or dash, and for multiplication we use asterisk, and for division we use forward slash. So all these operators are mostly used while we do the formula, as we have seen while doing in this part that we have used. But for functions we'll need the help of some punctuation marks, as we have seen here. Like in this formula we have used this colon sign, so that colon sign, in if I take the example of the formula sum, it is written as A5 and A12, which means in this function, in this function of sum, I'm actually writing in a way that I have to put the equal sign first and write the name of the function, and then open bracket or parenthesis, and first thing you have to write is the name of the first cell. So here this is C and 5, so I have to write C5, so which means this is the first, we name it as the first cell to last cell. So inside this bracket you have to write the range of the cells, that is from first cell to last cell. So the formula is actually first cell, and the word to is replaced by the colon, and then to last cell. So if we deduce that formula, it becomes like our first cell is C5 to C12. So that will be the complete function of the function sum. So likewise, there are other functions that is available in Microsoft Excel, like finding average, which would be helpful in finding the percentage of marks. So for finding average, we write in the same way. Always start with equal sign and then average. Spelling has to be correct, and write the first cell C5 to C12. So from first cell to last cell. So let's try that in our Excel sheet here. Here we have some numbers. So it doesn't mean that whatever the calculation you have to do, doesn't mean that it has to be adjacent to it. It can be here also, it can be here, it can be anywhere. So let's try to find the average here, average of all this. So if I want to find the average, I have to write equal sign and type average. It can be in small letter, capital letter, and I'll write from this cell to this cell, means C5 to C12. So C5 to C12, and close the bracket and hit enter. So that will be the average of all these numbers. So in this sheet, let's try to learn more about these two functions. So I'm going to write serial number, so 1 here, and let's say up to 10, and cars. So if I want to write cars 1, 2, 3 up to 10, I have to write car 1 and increase it, and we one here to fourth week. And suppose if I want to insert a row just above this one, right click here and select insert and expand this row, select this part of the row and let me merge this area. Merging means to combine all the cells into one cell, so that has become one cell as I've merged here. So I want to write car rental, and I also want to bring this one to the exact center of this box, so I'll have to adjust the alignment. So let me color this area, change the text color, make it bold. So I'm going to find the total distance covered, uh, let's say in kilometer, and for formatting of this kind of cell, like if I want to fit this whole part of the cell, I mean this whole part of the text in this cell, I'll have to use this option that is wrap text so that it fits in within this cell. Let us also try to find the average of distance covered, and so to find the total and average I need to have some numbers here, so let me type those numbers. So we've learned that we can find the total by using either a formula or function, but formula is long method, so we'll try to use function that is sum function, open bracket, writing the cell name. So here I'm going to find the total of distance covered by car 1 in 4 weeks. So the first number is C and 3, so I'm going to write C3, 2, and the last number, so C3 up to F3. Okay, let's try that again. Sum of C4 to C, sorry, F4 and hit enter. The other ways you can write the function, open the bracket, and right after opening the bracket you can also use mouse to select those numbers. So click here, do not leave the mouse or release the mouse, and select this area. Once you have selected the required area, close the bracket and hit enter. So in order to find the total you can follow in these two methods. So let us say I have followed the second method, which seems easier. Open the bracket and select the cell names by using mouse, close the bracket and hit enter. Once you have calculated the total for the first one, the rest ones you don't have to write the formula again. You can drag it down from the corner again. You can drag it down from the corner and the rest will also be calculated. Using the same method, let us also try to find the average. Equal to average, open bracket, select the cells, not up to total distance, but up to week 4, close the bracket and hit enter. And once the first one is calculated, the rest you can drag it down from the corner. From the corner means not like this, but you have to make sure that the black plus sign appears, then only you have to drag it down, and the rest will also be calculated.